So let me tell you a story. It's about a nurse, a high-flying investor, and this one idea, this $80,000 idea. It's a really powerful lesson in how the simplest concepts, the ones born from real everyday frustration, can turn out to be the most revolutionary. Okay, look at that number. Just let it sink in for a second. Negative $80,000. Now, this wasn't some corporate write-off or a project that went bust. No, this was way more personal, and it was the spark that lit a fire. Yep, you heard that right. That was the student debt crushing a nurse in rural America. And believe it or not, out of that struggle came an idea so powerful it would literally spark a healthcare revolution. So let's dive into how this all went down. All right, so our story doesn't kick off in some slick Silicon Valley office. Nope. We're starting on the back roads of rural Tennessee with a nurse who is facing the same frustrating problem day in and day out. So on one side of the ring, you've got Sarah, 32 years old, a home care nurse who loves her patients but is just buried under 80 grand in debt. Her world is all about people, one-on-one. Then, on the other side, you've got Jackson. He's a big-shot investor in Nashville's HealthTech scene, and he's hunting for the next billion-dollar idea, something scalable. You can already feel the tension, right? Two totally different worlds about to smash into each other. I mean, just try to put yourself in her shoes for a minute. You're driving hundreds of miles every single day just to see patients in remote areas. You're dealing with mountains of paperwork, actual paper, and all the while you're watching people suffer because the system is just too slow. This wasn't just burnout, it was a feeling of complete desperation. And you know what they say, frustration is the mother of invention. When the system is broken, well, sometimes you've just got to build your own. And Sarah's solution? Oh, it was just beautiful in its simplicity. Seriously, forget about fancy apps, forget high-speed internet or the latest smartphone. Sarah's big idea was built on something almost everyone has, no matter how old they are or where they live, plain old text messaging. We're talking a system so simple it could work on one of those old-school brick phones. And this is where the genius really shines. Step 1, an automated text zips out to the patient. Step 2, the patient just has to text back a 1 if they're okay if they took their meds. Step 3, or they text back a 2 if they need help. And boom! Instantly, a central database gets updated. Sarah and her team know exactly what's going on in real time. It's so simple, it's brilliant. Okay, so Sarah has this killer low-tech idea, but now comes the hard part. She has to sell it to a world that's obsessed with high-tech. And this pitch, it's going to be a total make-or-break moment. The arena for this showdown, a super prestigious medical innovation contest in Nashville. And guess who's hosting? Yep, Jackson's investment firm. This was the big leagues, folks. We're talking slick entrepreneurs with perfectly rehearsed presentations and mind-bendingly complex software. And then Sarah walks out. No PowerPoint, no fancy demo. She's just armed with a story and a brick phone. I mean, can you just picture that? The contrast must have been insane. So here's the big question hanging in the air, right? In a room that's obsessed with AI and big data, could a simple text message possibly stand a chance against big tech?
All right, let's flip the script for a second and look at this from Jackson's point of view. The rest of the room might have been skeptical, but Jackson, he was leaning in.
And the first reaction from Jackson's own team of experts? Well, it was exactly what you'd think. They were totally dismissive. It's too low tech. It's not scalable. You know the jargon. Basically, by every standard rule in the tech playbook, her idea was dead on arrival. But Jackson saw something deeper. You see, his own grandmother lived out in a rural area, so he got the problem on a personal level. He wasn't just seeing a simple system, he saw an inclusive one. He had this flash of insight that the biggest market isn't always the fanciest one, it's the one that leaves no one behind. So what did he do? He overruled his entire team. He made a gut call and put his own money and his own reputation on the line for Sarah's idea. This was a huge gamble, a bet on a totally different kind of tech future. And that gamble? Oh, it paid off bigger than anyone could have possibly dreamed. This wasn't just some little side project anymore. This was the beginning of a full-blown revolution. I mean, just look at this journey. It all starts with one exhausted nurse sketching out an idea. Then, a lone founder pitches that idea with nothing but a brick phone. One investor takes a massive chance on an inclusive idea, they team up, and together they build the largest rural health tech platform in America. That is just an incredible, incredible story. And what happened to Sarah, the nurse who started all of this? She went from being $80,000 in the hole, fighting a system that was failing her, to becoming the chief product officer of her own company. Debt-free and leading a healthcare revolution. Talk about a transformation. So this whole story really makes you think, doesn't it? It leaves us with this one big question. In our own lives, in our own work, what's the massive problem we're trying to fix with some super complicated solution? When maybe, just maybe, the simple brick phone answer is sitting right there in front of us. You know, Sarah's whole journey kicked off because of a financial weight, one she overcame with some serious innovation. And that got us thinking. We'd love to hear from you. What's your number one finance hack? Drop it in the comments below. Let's share some of that wisdom. Thanks for tuning in.